Welcome everybody to another team training. This is a Tuesday training we do every week. We do it at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and we go through various parts of the business model, components within that business model, as well as anything else that will help you on a professional or personal development level to help you grow your business and yourself. Remember, being an entrepreneur is not just about the end destination, it's about the journey and all the skill sets and everything that you pick up along the way. We always like to review what we did last week, and these are always as a backlog in the YouTube channel. They're emailed out to you guys, placed in the Facebook group. Last week, we did a training on making sure that this doesn't get classified as a side hustle or a hobby. It's not a side hustle, it's not a hobby. Those things make very little to any money. Sometimes hobbies end up costing you money. This is a 30, 60, 90-day blueprint to make sure that you treat this like a business and you start getting business-like results. So this week, what we're talking about, and the real concentration for the training is using GoHighLevel as a business engine. So I've been in the insurance industry since about, trying to bring some digital disruption, some virtual disruption to the industry since about 2013 or so. A lot of at that time there were not as many tools out, so you had to piece all this stuff together. Stuff didn't communicate with each other like it does now. You have one central place in GoHighLevel that you can use as a complete business engine to create nationwide distribution of financial services. And when you do that and you create that asset, you're going to get everything that you want as far as the income and revenue growth, but also in some of the spots that we have where we have acquisition and equity opportunity, you are taking ownership in that build out as well. So how do we get all this stuff done in the most efficient way for ourselves? And then how do we teach other people to do it? Because if you can get a team going who's all using these tools to get ahead of their internal and external competition, it is off to the races. And then things get excited because you go from having those initial foundational problems to actually having growth problems. And those are fun to solve. And we've already probably solved most of them preemptively for you guys. So why infrastructure wins? This is just a little introduction on what the problem is inside and outside the financial services industry, but especially inside our industry. Most agents don't lose because of talent. They lose because they operate without basic tools and system. We talked about this over and over and over again. Motivation comes and goes. It's going to fade. And if that's all you have to count on to build this business out, it's going to be a tough sled uphill for you. Infrastructure, on the other hand, it compounds. So if you're trying to build a business without a system, you're competing at a huge disadvantage before you ever start. Today's not about software. Today's about how real businesses operate and how they get ahead in this digital environment. So high level and GoHighLevel is something that I've been using for a number of years. It continues to get built out, adds new features. The latest big one was, AI into it. But what GoHighLevel actually is, and what it is not. So I want you guys to understand. We're not just telling you use this for your business because we think it's cool. We know that it's going to accelerate your producer and your production volume as well as your agency build out. So let's talk a little bit about what's it not. It's not just a CRM. When we started doing this in 2013, we thought we had a great CRM. It was built for us. It did some slight communication. We could share messages. We could put stuff on other people's calendars, things like that. And at that time, that was revolutionary. But it's not just a CRM. You can pick up a CRM anywhere and they have basic functions. That's not what you're looking for. It's also not marketing software. It's going to have all of this stuff combined into one system, but I want you guys to understand, think about, hey, what if I pieced all this together? What if I got a CRM? What if I got an outside marketing software? What if I got some outside automation, which once again, GoHighLevel is not just automation, it's a whole toolbox of this stuff. So what is it? It's your business headquarters. It's where everything runs. It's your single source of truth. You know all of your numbers for yourself, all of your numbers for your agency build out, and you know whether you are at any given time contracting, kind of flatlining or growing your business as a producer or as an agency builder. And you can also monitor other people through that system. And it's your operating system. Think about what Microsoft did with the operating system when they brought Windows into the picture and how that changed the computer world. So you have to look at your business as an opportunity to beat competition, to integrate these tools, and to get ahead. Because if you implement this stuff, you're going to find organization, you're going to find acceleration, you're going to find production, you're going to find agency build out. You're looking for everything that you want inside the system. But if it's not in Go High Level, it doesn't exist. You guys have probably been in a place where you wrote down notes or you put something on a calendar or whatever it is and you forgot about it, you can't find it, you didn't make it. One of the key central advantages of using Go High Level is you don't really need anything else. Everything can be integrated and everything can be integrated into the framework of Go High Level, so you don't need anything else. And when you have that, you're not segmented, you're integrated. And when that starts happening, you're not concentrating on trying to get all these things together and to communicate with each other. Now you're concentrating on the things that we want you to concentrate on: income producing activity, building the relationships. Go high level, you guys. It's imperative in your business because, like I said, if you're going to put all this stuff together and you're going to try to integrate it or have it talk to each other, that's where you spend most of your time. And you don't want to spend most of your time putting the pieces together. You want to have the puzzle already made for you. Most agents, they don't track anything. They follow up inconsistently at best. Remember, if an average lead is resolved between the fifth and the seventh follow up, and most agents never make it past the first or the second, how much revenue, how much income, how much growth is being left because we're not following up? So part of what we do is we create tools and we create technology and we create automation that will do some of this for us. They rely on memory. I don't know how you guys short-term memory is. Mine's not good. If I write down stuff, if I don't write down stuff, I'm not remembering it. If I do write down stuff, I have trouble reading my own handwriting. So when you learn how to get out of your own way, things start to happen. When you constantly stand in your own way, you're always going to be in your own way. And then most agents operate emotionally. Why? Because they don't have a system. So they're operating emotional. That leads to panic management. Nothing good comes from panic management. What does Go High Level solve? It removes the guesswork. It creates visibility. It forces consistency. And that is something that will really help you guys build your agency. And it allows coaching and duplication. If you can do it and you can do it successfully, and if you teach other people how to do it, what does that allow you to do? You may have a big ego and you may want to be, quote, the man or the woman or whatever it is that you see, but you don't want to have to be that person. You want to be able to step outside, leave the asset, step away from it, and guess what happens? Without your everyday interaction and activity, it's still flowing smoothly. There's still huge amounts of production, revenue, and income in. Why? Because you were organized on the front side and taught people these systems and tools to use. They don't need you, and that's really the apex of leadership. If you can create a generational build out where everybody's doing the same thing, using the same tools, then you've really done an excellent job. You will be highly rewarded for that financially. Remember, you can't see or you can't scale what you cannot see. So as you're looking at your business, think about it from an aerial point of view. Is it in a state of like disarray and discombobulation? If so, bring it all together. Learn how to be organized, learn how to be efficient. And then, like I said, once you teach yourself, you just teach other people. It's a mission control system. And when you guys understand the value of this, it becomes very, very exciting because now you can understand how to get to the seven, to the eight figure agency build out. But the first thing I want to do is go through Go High Level as mission control from a producer view. So what does it do for production? What does it do for the producer? What does it do with the straight interaction for prospects on the client side? Well, it's going to have pipeline clarity. You know exactly where every lead is. And guys, I'm just speaking from first person point of view. Sometimes, you know, in follow up, you're supposed to follow up with somebody. You write it down somewhere, or maybe put it in on your calendar, but not as a concrete calendar appointment. Guys, all of those things are leading to cracks. All of those cracks allow revenue and income to slip through. So what you want to do is you want to seal those cracks. And when you do, the money doesn't fall through, it starts to build up. So in pipeline clarity, you know where every single lead is, You have the notes associated with it, where it is, what's been sent, what they've said. You have a complete diary and a complete framework of everything that's happened from this lead from the moment it was created until, the last communication that was made on it, what stage they're in. And then follow-up visibility. No drop balls. Remember, drop balls is dropped revenue, dropped income. No guessing who to contact. Remember, our job really on the marketing side of our virtual assembly line is to do two things: create and resolve leads. That's all we want to do. So who we want to contact? Well, GoHighLevel and a system like that allows you to tier your contacts. What's most important? What do I need to do right now? What do I need to concentrate on? What are my pipeline movers? And that's, just basic organization that allows you to have a visible follow-up versus just a random and ineffective follow-up. And then activity tracking. How many outreaches, how many conversations, how many appointments? This is all done. The old school way is to have the columns and you just mark those hash marks. When you get to 4, you mark the 5th. You count them up at the end of the day. I made this many calls. You don't need to waste your time doing that. It can automatically be tracked and you can review it. And if you're okay with accountability, which you should be, you can see and you can measure and then you can reflect. And then once you fix yourself, you just fix other people. That's all our leadership role is understanding how to A, fix yourself, and then B, fix other people. That's where agency build out comes from. And then calendar control, booked appointments, confirmation reminders, time protection. You don't even need a calendar system. If you have GoHighLevel, you can build the internal calendars. You can integrate it with your Google calendars so that anything that you have blocked off on that calendar will speak to the other calendars. Guys, I want you to understand the importance of having a central dashboard here because GoHighLevel is going to tell you to do what to do every day. What to do next, what to do next, what to do next. It's almost having like a manager for you and then a manager always for your agents. So if you guys can learn this system and then use it effectively, it's going to manage your agency for you. Now, as the agency builder, which this gets really interesting, what's the agency builder view? Well, GoHighLevel as a mission control here. You're going to fix a lot of issues because your time is your most precious resource and asset. If you don't get a return on that, what you're going to find is agency build out. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be talking to a lot of people who want to talk to you, but they don't really deserve to talk to you. So you're going to be able to see team activity from an aerial point. Think about the linear where you're just talking to people in a room and then raise yourself above that and look at the total room. That's what we're doing here. We're seeing team activity. We're identifying who's executing, who's stuck, who's not doing anything at all. And then you coach. You coach based on data, not excuses. Remember, a coach's job is to make the players and the team better. It's not just to listen to excuses all day and pander people. You're making those decisions based on data. And that allows you to ensure that follow-up discipline is across the team. So if you institute something and people are using it, that is a great sign. They have a good shot of being successful in this framework. However, if they're not doing what you ask them, that's a disqualification, just like your clients. Even though that you've recruited that partner to come into your business, if they're not willing to fall in and do what's expected and get these things in place, then you're going to be spending time with the people that are, and that creates duplication instead of dependency. Like I said, your ego may be big, but you do not want people that need you day after day after day. That becomes on the Kiyosaki quadrant, self-employed. Why? Because you can't back away. You own a job. People are constantly needing you to do this, that, or the other. You have to invest that time on the front side to be able to walk away on the back side. Leaders don't chase people, guys. Leaders build systems, and then people either plug into them or they don't. And if they're willing to plug into them, that's who you spend your time, energy, resources on. And unfortunately, not to be rude to the other people, but they have to show something from their side in order for you as a manager and an agency builder to invest time into them. The competitive advantage of using GoHighLevel correctly. Think about even in some of the opportunities that we have. I'm looking at what other teams are doing. And guys, you have a huge advantage here with how long we've been doing virtual businesses, how much we understand these tools. To build a virtual business from scratch and not really understand how to connect people together if you've been doing physical offices is very, very difficult. And there's a learning curve to that. So understand we know how to do that. If you guys can implement this stuff into your business, you have an accelerator. And that's the background of this picture. This guy's not just running past his competition, he is leaping past his competition. Why this beats the competition? Most of your competitors, they some don't even have a CRM. Most don't use a CRM consistently and they don't use it effectively. They have multiple disconnected tools. This is most of the industry. They have a calendar, they have a marketing system, they have this, that, or the other. They got 8 or 9 tools, and none of them are speaking to each other. None of them are communicating together, and that creates a business disconnection. They have no visibility into performance. Well, the only thing I know is either direct deposits are hitting my account or not. If that's the only way that you understand how things are going in your business, I promise you, you're going to have problems managing people because you have to rely on data and you have to understand how to turn that data into investment. You cannot duplicate effectively when you have all of these things that most competitors have going on because why? There's no streamlining. There's no generational build out that's the same. It's just whatever somebody's doing. If they're successful, that's great. They may or may not teach somebody else how to do it, and that other person may not be able to learn how to do it. Your agency, well, what's the difference here? It runs on one platform. It has structured follow-up. It tracks real activity for yourself and your team, and it builds equity through duplication. Systems create speed, guys. Speed creates market dominance. You are trying to dominate a piece of this market. You are trying to consolidate a piece of this market. It is a very large industry, and if you understand how to do that, it starts with systems. They create the speed, and that speed creates the market dominance. This is all an equation that we've lined out. We understand how it works and we understand the end destination. We understand what you have to do along the way. All we're asking you to do is just follow our lead, get these tools, to teach other people how to use them, and then watch what happens to your revenue, your income, your equity, and your legacy. Support and development. If you want to go out and get a GoHighLevel system on your own, it's going to cost X amount of $100 per month, and it's like a blank slate. If you're an artist and you understand the ins and outs of GoHighLevel, great, you can create from the start. But if you're an average agent, all you're going to do is just stare at it. You're going to get very frustrated because there's a lot of inner workings. So what we do on our team is we say, hey, we've got this great tool. Let's integrate it into the team. Let's give everybody the availability to access it through subscriptions that are very affordable. And then let's give them access to a free developer that will work with them. What does that mean? Well, the critical differentiator here is you're not handed this program and this software and said, good luck, let me know how it goes. This tool is powerful, but guidance is really what unlocks it. There's a lot of inner working, moving pieces to this. And if you had to do it alone, you're probably going to fail. This removes the I'm not techie excuse or the empty feeling when you open up that system, you have no idea what to do. What we have here and what we've developed is we've got a team developer. He's part of our team. He works with us. He helps, set up support, workflow assistant, training and optimization help, whether that's on a team level, individual, small group level. I'm trying to put all the pieces together. And quite frankly, I'm doing this to give you guys no excuses. So this business model is designed to where it won't work out. And the only reason it won't work out is because you're not willing to go through and do it on a consistent basis to the point that you got the asset built. Never ending learning equals never ending growth. Remember, there is a combination of learning and implementing what you learn. And we're trying to do that on multiple levels, from a team level, from an individual level. But essentially, GoHighLevel, from the time I started using it to now, it continues to evolve. It continues to have new components, new tools to it. Markets also evolve. Your skill sets, guys, they must evolve. And that's why we try to create this ripple effect. We try to go out and identify this will help our team. This will help our team. Now we introduce it to you. Your job is to understand, study, and really be hungry to do those two things. Learn and implement what you're learning. The moment learning stops, your growth stalls. And when your growth stalls, you start to contract. And when your business starts to contract, you're not growing. You're starting the decaying or dying process. Agents who stay curious, they find new efficiencies. They unlock new opportunities. They stay ahead of their competition. That's all this is. This is a race, and we're trying to give you guys a jetpack versus some tennis shoes. And when you understand the amount of competitive advantage that you can create using these tools, you guys should start getting addicted to this stuff. Your engagement, expectations and standards going forward. So there's two types of agents. Some have resources to invest into their business, some don't. One of the first things, if you don't have money to invest in your business, is get some of those early wins so you can pay yourself for the time, energy, resources that you put into, creating that revenue and income for yourself, but also invest in your business. Invest in these tools, invest in things that are going to make it easier, because as you're paying yourself and then you're investing in your business, two things are happening, volleying back and forth. And as you're adding these tools and we're helping you with this, and you add in some other stuff, you've got inbound marketing happen, you've got agency build out happening. It gets a lot more exciting than that stuck stage where you're trying to find that initial foundation or trying to find that initial, growth trajectory to get up, off, and running. So activity must be visible. And that's why GoHighLevel is such an important system, because you're going to know exactly, we're going to know exactly what's going on. Your follow-up must be tracked. I guarantee you that nobody that has ever not followed their track their follow-up has done enough effective follow-up to get 100% of that revenue and income that was supposed to come into their business over there. Calendars must be used, pipelines must be clean. All of these things is in one central system. And that's why it's so important to use these things. This is a business, it's not a hobby. We talked about that last week. And businesses run on systems. So your call to action here is just set up a personal mission control for yourself and then use it for agency build out. We have a way that you can create nationwide distribution of financial services through this one system. You will not need anything else. And that is something for the agency build out as you're talking to people. Hey, we have one central system that we use for everything, our calendars, our marketing, our automation, our follow up. Everything that we need is in one central system, and we teach you how to use it. So we'll help you with GoHighLevel setup. We'll align workflows with goals. We'll identify leaks that you're having. We'll help you create clarity for a 90-day run. That's a 30, 60, 90-day marker within that run. This system works, but only if you use it, guys. This is what you should be looking at. Mission control, right? You've got that one central dashboard, that one central engine that's going to run an entire 21st century business. And then once you understand, hey, I've got this in place, this is going to do everything that I need, I just have to learn it with their help. This is not a time to wait. You want to make things happen, take action. Don't sit back and just hope. Remember, two types of people. One is reactive. They just sit back and whatever happens, they're waiting on it to happen to take any action. The other one is proactive. They're going out actually making things happen, taking the initiative. You want to be proactive in a business like this. If you're reactive in a business like this, you'll find over X period of time, whatever period of time that is, that you will not have a business.